man who became a monster.
Dig this. Dig this.
Man, a man can't do nothing no more.
Dig. Dig.
In. We're going to get a bit philosophical today. As you may have noticed, everyone is after people with good genes. Men want attractive women and women want attractive men. But is this pursuit worth it? Let's dive into it. First of all, why do we want attractive partners? Well, good genes, as I mentioned, is definitely one reason. Either consciously or unconsciously we are attracted to beautiful people cause their physical appearance is an indicator of good genes. Therefore, if we manage to have kids with them, chances of them being pretty and healthy go up. So it's definitely a biological thing to an extent. But this isn't the only reason. There are people who don't want to have kids at all, yet they're still attracted to what's considered beautiful. Well, plot twist, it's still biological. Our primal brain doesn't understand the difference between actually reproducing and doing other things of this nature that definitely don't lead to offsprings. But jokes aside, there's more to it than biology. People want to be accepted and validated by their peers. You could argue that this is biological too, cause validation is perceived as increasing the chances of survival by our subconscious. Back in the day, if you had your tribe's validation, you actually had a higher chance of survival. You couldn't survive without your tribe. Our subconscious minds still think this way, even though people's validation isn't necessary for our survival nowadays. So anyway, people want to be seen as worthy, and what a better way to prove that you're worthy other than having an attractive partner. This feeling is so intoxicating. I remember this period of my life, where I was in a relationship with a very attractive girl, and everyone was giving me props. The weirdest thing is that I received the biggest props from females and not males. Sure, my buddies were happy for me, but my female friends had idolized me. They even teased me saying things like, "Why is she even with you? Is she blind or something?" Needless to say that when we broke up, I didn't just lose a girl. I lost a big part of my identity. I was the man, the guy with a hot girlfriend. Now, who am I? Thoughts like these were haunting me back then. A true identity crisis. So yeah, wanting good genes for your kids and wanting to feel worthy are probably the two biggest ones. Some might talk about the pleasure that a beautiful woman can give you, but I can definitely say that I've had more pleasurable moments with less attractive women, so the correlation isn't necessarily accurate in my opinion. And now to the main subject. Is it worth the trouble? Think about it for a moment.
Well, good evening folks. My name is Ron, otherwise known as the old man in the van, but as you can see, I am not in the van. Anyway, the clip you've just watched is a video I've just been watching, and it got me thinking. I've asked this question before on a Facebook page, but I'm gonna ask it on YouTube. I've got two questions, by the way. Question number one, am I strange? And question number two, am I alone for thinking this? Now let me elaborate. Now you've just seen the clip, right? So keep that in mind. Now, when I say beautiful women, I'm talking about what the general public classes as beautiful women. Your traditional 7, 8, 9s, 10 out of 10s, okay? Bad B, hot chicks. What the general public would deem as hot, okay? So that's who I'm talking about. Now, this is where I'm asking the question if I'm strange or am I alone in this? Now, though, like everybody else, I find them very attractive. I find them extremely attractive. But ever since I was a teenager, I've never been attracted to them. Though I find them attractive, but I haven't felt an attraction in most cases. Sometimes, but there's a proviso with the sometimes. I liken it to like when you're walking down the road and let's say you hear the classic rumble and you turn around to see what's that rumbling noise, and you've got a magnificent high-end sports car like a Lamborghini or a Ferrari. Now there's one of two reactions when that happens. Either reaction number one, the person looking on that fantastic car would say, oh man, I wish I had the money to buy that, or I really want a car like that. If I had the money, I would absolutely buy one. I really would love a car like that if I had the money, or, you know, or if you got the money, I'm gonna buy that. I'm gonna definitely get one of those, right? So that's reaction number one. Reaction number two would be, wow, that's a magnificent car. Wow, it's a beautiful car. Mwah. Okay, now what's for dinner? What was I thinking about before that car rolled by? You know, the second person just admires it and then just goes about their business. I'm the second person. You know, if my life was to change and I was in a position to have that sports car, maybe I get one, maybe I won't. But it's not on my big priority list to get a sports car. This is a metaphor. So what I'm saying is, if the situation was to arise that a traditional hot chick was to show interest in me, unless I'm attracted to her, well, if I'm attracted to her and everything's right, then obviously I'll pursue. But it's not on my big. If I don't ever get a hot chick ever in my life, which is a bit late in the date now because I'm 58 years old. Well, like, you know, but going back to my teenage, it was never a big priority on my list. It just wasn't. It just wasn't. You could speculate all sorts of things around it all you like, but at the end of the day, regardless of what money I may or may not have had, regardless of how I rate out of 10, right? Whether I rate lowly out of 10 or whether you think I'm average, well, it doesn't matter what you think of me. At the end of the day, I wasn't attracted to them. So it makes no difference to me whatsoever, right? So, now, I'm going to elaborate on my question. I got slightly sidetracked. The reason why I believe I have never been attracted to the traditional hot chick is the vibes. In most cases, the vibes I believe that I see and maybe get. But this is it going on in my head. I reserve the right to be wrong, okay? Let me make this clear. I reserve the right to be wrong. And also, I want to make something clear as well. No way am I telling anybody who they should and shouldn't be attracted to. If you want that sports car, go for it. And I'm happy for you. Absolutely. So, you know, if that's your thing, I'm happy for you. I'm not telling anybody who they should and shouldn't be attracted to. Okay. So I'm only just giving my reasons, and hence I'm leading up to my question about am I alone and am I strange, right? So the vibes I normally see in this type of woman is I don't tend to see someone, the impression I get, I don't seem to see someone who's warm, kind, friendly, caring and sharing and nurturing. Like I said, I reserve the right to be wrong. Obviously, this doesn't apply to all hot chicks, of course not. But I'm sure it applies to some, right? The vibe I get from them is like cold, aloof, entitled, selfish, vain. That's the impression they have given me by their own actions, by the vibes they give off. Whereas the less attractive, according to the general public, I see the warm, the friendly vibes, the sort of caring, the things that the virtues of a woman that would make a man be attracted to her. I see that in the less attractive women. Even, let's say, a hot chick comes up on an Instagram feed or a photograph and they're smiling. In most cases, even though they're smiling, behind that smile, I think to myself, well, if you wasn't smiling, I bet if you was in a bar walking down the road, you will have that usual cheesed off look on your face. Now, I understand the logic in why many of them have to have a pissed off look, a rest and bitch face. I understand the logic in it because obviously it doesn't apply to me, but I would imagine that they get so much attention that they have to have a wall up to keep away the I don't know, the thirsty creeps and so forth. So they must be inundated with attention. So they're forced to walk around with a rest and bitch face in some cases. So I get that. I do get that. But yeah. So my question is, again, am I strange for not having the desire for your hot chick? And am I alone for thinking this? Now, my stunner, my hot chick, is what you would class as your average chick with a cute edge to her. Your cute average chick. That would be my stunner. That would make me. I mean, you know, if you've never seen me before, I do like a fuller figured, curvy, fuller figured woman. You know, curvaceous or what they call thick. So if she's got a banging body and chunky thighs, big ass, and she's got the kind of the curves that I like, and she has that cute pretty girl next door average face, and she's giving off the warm friendly vibes. I'm like, whoa, wow, yeah, I'm attracted to that. That is my stunner. That is my stunner. But yeah, there you go. So come back to my question. And come back to that video, you know, in terms of validation and stuff like that. I really don't care about getting validation for somebody else. If I've got a hot chick, I don't really care about your validation to me, without being crass. If I'm receiving oral sex, or whenever I'm receiving oral sex in my moments of pleasure, and when I'm giving, because I'm not a taker. I give as well. I give as good as I get. When I'm in a 69 situation, you are the last person on my mind. Trust me on that. So I don't really care about your recommendation. And what else did I want to add to that as well? Yeah, so that's never really been. And then I said that's what I was going to say. That's all I'm going to say. I've mentioned this before in another video, in regards to the genes, and I appreciate it's probably something subconscious. Again, the mothers, and I wish it was just. I wish I could say just one. I wish I could say the mother, but unfortunately, you know, I slipped up on that side of the. That side of the track. So the mothers, plural, of my children, they, according to the general public, they are not like hot chicks. They're just average. And all of my kids, including my grandchildren, are very good looking. And you could just you could check out my previous video, advice to red and black pill young men, and you could see photographs of my offsprings on there. So in terms of the gene thing and producing good looking children, you know, I'm not ashamed to say this. I don't have a problem. I'm certainly not the best looking guy in town, right? I have my pluses, I have my advantages, but I'm still not the best looking guy in town. And the mothers of my children, they weren't no bad bees, according to the general public, but I've got good looking children. But there you go. So anyway, like I said, knock yourself out. I'm not telling you not to go for the hot chicks. I'm not telling you not to get validation. I'm not telling you not to do any of those things. I'm just saying, I'm just asking a question. That video, that first clip, it didn't really resonate with me. It didn't really apply to me. So maybe I am strange, or maybe I'm alone for thinking this. But you tell me, Okay, it's just an idle question. Okay, folks, gotta go and have a good night. Thank you very much. Okay, bye.